Today is Wednesday, Parashat Shofetim. Typically in the Torah, when the mitzvot are given to us, the parasha, the Torah doesn't tell us, this is the reason for this or that mitzvah. The Torah tells us not to eat or cook meat and milk together. It doesn't tell us what is the reason. It tells us that certain types of animals are forbidden to eat, like let's say pork or camel. It doesn't tell us, this is the reason why you don't do this or that thing. This is the reason why you have to follow the mitzvot. A specific mitzvah. It doesn't give us the reason for every specific mitzvah. But in the parasha of this week, there is an exception. The Torah tells us about the king. It says, Rak lo yarbelo susim, that when you have a king, after you go into the land of Israel, Rak lo yarbelo susim, he must not have many horses for himself. Shouldn't have many horses for himself, extra, more than he needs for his regular needs. Velo yashiv et ha'am Mitzrayma, so that he will not cause the people to return to Egypt, obviously for the purpose of having many horses. So the Torah here gives us a reason for the mitzvah that the king should not have many extra horses, and the reason for that is so that he will not go back to Egypt. It will not cause him to go back to Egypt to purchase horses, because that's where the capital of horses was at the time. That's why we got horses. And then it tells us also about the king, Velo yarbelo nashim, that he must not have many wives for himself. Velo yasu levavo, so that they will not sway his heart. They will not, his heart will not turn away from Hashem. So here again, the Torah gives us a reason. Why not to have many wives for the kings? And the reason is so that if he marries many wives, and some of them that may not go in the way in the right path, they would sway his heart, they would turn him away from Hashem. So here the Torah gives us again a reason for that mitzvah for the king not to have too many wives. By the way, the Gemara it says, and at the time they could marry more than one wife. The maximum for a king was 18 wives. More than that, that would have been considered transgressing this mitzvah of the Torah. And the reason is shelo yasu levavo, so that his heart will not turn away. And as we said, typically the Torah does not give us a reason for the mitzvot. The Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin points out a very important concept to understand regarding the idea of not having reasons that are given to us for the mitzvot. Yitzchak says, why are the reasons for the mitzvot, for the Torah, why are the reasons not given for every mitzvah? Right? Hashem tells us, do this mitzvah or that, and this is the reason. Why the reasons are not given? Because there were two mitzvot, this mitzvah of not having too many horses and not having too many wives. Nidgalut Aman, the Torah gave the reason for them. Shouldn't have many horses so that the people would not go back, so that he would not go back to Egypt to get horses. Shouldn't have many wives so that should not turn his heart away. So the reason was given, Nichshal Baen Gedol HaOlam. The great person in the world, which Shlomo HaMelech was the wisest man of all, the wisest of all the wise men. He was the Hacham Mikol Adam, he was the wisest of all men. And he stumbled and failed in these two things. Ktiv lo yarbelo nashim. So it's written, he should not have many wives. Amar Shlomo. Shlomo says, Ani arbe velo asur. This would not apply to me. Shlomo HaMelech said, I feel self-confident that he will be able, he said that he will be able to have many wives, and they will not have an influence on him. Yet it says that Ed Ziknat Shlomo, in time of his older age, Nashav hitu et levavo. His wives, that he had many wives, more than the 18 that were permitted, his wives, hitu et levavo, they swayed his heart from Hashem. They were a bad influence on him. Because when you give a reason, there's a way to justify that reason doesn't apply to you. So even the wisest of all men, when the Torah gave the reason, he felt that that reason didn't apply to him. Uchtiv, and the pasuk says, "Lo yarbe lo sosim," he should not have many horses. Ve'amar Shlomo, Shlomo says, "Ani yarbe velo ashiv." I'll have many horses, but don't worry. I'll make sure that I don't go back to Egypt, and we don't go to Egypt to get horses. Yet, Uchtiv, Vatetze merkava mimitzrayim, says yet, it says there in the Navi that Shlomo ended up buying the horses from Egypt. So the Gemara here makes a very important point, that as we are given the mitzvot in the Torah, the reason for the mitzvot are not given. Because unfortunately, if the reason was given, many of us would find a justification why that reason doesn't apply to us. And when two reasons were given in the Torah for two mitzvot, even the wisest of men, which is Shlomo HaMelech, stumbled and failed in these two mitzvot because he felt that the reason that was given in the Torah did not apply to him. There's another pasuk in this parasha also that is an important aspect when we come to mitzvot and the opinion of Torah. And the pasuk says, "Al pi haTorah asher yorucha ve'al hamishpat yoru lecha ta'aseh lo tasur min hadavar asher yagidu lecha yamin u'smol." You'll do according to the law that they will teach you, that our sages, our rabbis teach us, and according to the judgments that they will say to you, you should not divert right or left from the word that they will tell you. And many times it could be that a person doesn't understand not just the certain mitzvah from the Torah, the reason for it. Maybe when he asks the Torah, he asks the opinion of Torah, and a Torah learned sage tells him this is the way to act, and it may seem to you maybe that's not right, you have a different approach. It's not. It says here in the Torah, follow the advice of the Hachamim, because it could be that you're mistaken and the sage is right and he's the one who's correct. Why? Because Hashem, through the Torah, gives holy inspiration to our Hachamim, to our sages, to direct us in the proper path. Even if sometimes maybe that path we don't exactly understand it, we should rely on the words of our Hachamim and the words of the Torah. Baruch Adonai le'olam, Amen ve'amen.